Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a haul. I recently went to the DAV in Williamsburg because I was out there running errands and had to go to my post box. And I just, happened to drive by the DAV, and so I had to go inside, and I'm so glad I did. I have a few bags here to show you guys, as well as a separate pair of shoes that I will show you all last because it's the best thing I found, and that's what YouTubers do. So there you go. Although, to be fair, this first item might actually be better. I don't know. There are no comps for it at all, but you all know I love vintage. This is $6.98. It was $6.98, and it is a satin jacket. This says Travis Air Force Base, which I have no idea where it is, but Editing Bob will put where it is here, or where it was, because I don't know if it still exists. And this is a vintage satin jacket from Travis Air Force Base. It is a size XL, which is why I decided to go ahead and buy it. That, and it was also $7. The last time I took a chance on a vintage satin jacket, I paid like $7, and it was the Sony Pro RCA from the 90s jacket, and that sold for $40. So I don't know. I'm seeing like military satin jackets, depending on how much embroidery, if it's embroidered or if it's screen printed, what it is, what unit it is. Like, there are so many comps between like $20 to like $200. So I don't know. I just figured for $7 I'm willing to take a chance. It is quilted inside, which is great, and I can do some research on Empire Sporting Goods as to where that was and when. It does say it is union made, so, but it doesn't have one of the union made tags on it. I looked everywhere, so I can't use that to help me date it. But hopefully I'll be able to figure out when this was, and of course you're going to see the listing over here. And then the mystery will be solved for both of us, and much easier for you because you just had to wait until I showed you what it was. I of course also picked up a book while I was there. I always look at books at this place because it's either feast or famine there. Pretty much anytime I go there it's feast or famine. This time it was a little bit of a famine, but I did find one. This is a first edition Stephen King. This is Dolores Claiborne. You know, I keep hoping one day I'll find a first edition stand, and then I could, have many monies. But for the whole $2 I paid for this, I'm gladly going to sell this for between $5 and $15. Those are the ranges, depending on condition, so we'll see. But Stephen King does horror if you don't read, and this is what this man looks like. Tight. This haul, I picked up a lot of shoes, so I'm sorry if you're not into shoes. I'm not really into shoes, but again, it's feast or famine, and it seemed to be feast for shoes at this place, and I'm not going to turn that down. So I paid $2.98 for these, and you're like, those look like fake Converse. You are correct, but they're not fake Converse. The brand name is Palladium, and these actually sell for more money and better than the typical Chuck is going to. I know that Chuck Taylor has a lot of collaborations, so of course those are going to sell better than these, but this normally gets me a much better return. It has almost 100% sell-through rate as far as the brand goes, and these are a size 5.5. They're easy to tell because they almost always have this like giant label on the back of them somewhere. But yeah, if they look like fake Chuck Taylors or fake Converse, I would take a look to make sure it's not these, because if it is these, then I would recommend picking them up. And it's a good spring color. It's nice and yellow and white. I also rarely pick up Cole Haans, but I decided to pick up these Cole Haans because they were marked down to $4.98. You can see here that they had originally wanted $20 for them. I definitely would not have bought them then. But this is a pair of women's driving loafers, and you can tell they're driving loafers because it goes all the way up the back. So it had a couple things going for it. It was cheap, which I'm not going to pay more than $5 for Cole Haans unless they are men's Grand OSs, and then I will pay up for them. These are 7.5s, and they're normal sizing, so they're B size, so that's standard sizing. And they're a beautiful red color, so they stand out, and they are like a snakeskin print. And then they're driving loafers, and they are in immaculate condition, so definitely pick those up. I have talked about this brand before. I've only ever found it one other time. Well, that's not true. I found it multiple times but normally they are either too trashed to resell or they're marked up way too high to resell. And the only other time that I've shown these on my channel has been when I went with Brett to the bins in Richmond and I found a pair of these and no one had picked them up because it is not an American brand, it's a European brand. It is Isla Jakobsen. I probably am butchering that, but they are very distinct looking once you find them. They have this like serrated bottom. It's not like the Nike Freeze where it's kind of a flex fit. It literally looks serrated if you look at it close up. It also has a perforated or laser cut leather upper, and these are a size 39. They charge $10 for them. They're also going to have the Isla Jakobsen symbol back there. I paid $10 for these and like, oh my god, you paid $10 for them. I did, because these have close to, again, 100% sell-through rate. They're black, so they're good basic. They're 39, so it's a great size. And I just have to take all of the rocks out. That is literally the only problem. These look like they were barely worn. Looks like they were worn once. They picked up a bunch of rocks and then just decided to never wear them again. But I'm so excited because the last pair I had was a white cream colored and they sold actually they sold twice. The first time they sold and they were returned for fit. And then the second time they sold and they stayed sold because I adjusted the American size because the person was like, these are like just a bit too big. And whenever you're doing that conversion between American and European sizes, there's a little wiggle room and sometimes there's a little too much wiggle room. This is a brand that I'm always on the lookout for, but I've only ever found it one time beforehand, and that is Finn Comfort. This is a German comfort brand with the same kind of cult following that Birkenstocks has, but these are not as common as Birkenstocks. They are very comfortable. They are a black basic shoe, and I am willing to pay $15 for these because these shoes have an insane price range in ASP. I don't know exactly this one's, it has a style code on the inside. These are a 5.5, so they're a little bitty size, which is not something I pick up. But I will look up the style number, and of course it's going to be listed here. I don't know if I made a mistake, but I had a pair of Finn Comfort brand before, and I think I sold them on Poshmark, and I don't have my phone, so if I'm correct, I will show you what my first pair sold for. If I'm not correct, then I'm just waving my hand and hoping magic happens and being disappointed that it doesn't. But I found these, I paid up for them. I don't think I made a mistake. I think I made a good decision there. Editing Bob will let all of us know if I did a good job or not. Okay. And then, oh, I got one more in this bag. All right, and then we have a pair of Adidas. Again, if you do not know, because you are new here, I worked for Adidas for 4 years, so please don't correct me. Adidas is named after the founder of Adidas, Adi, or Adolf Dassler. Das, so Adidas. That's, Americans call it Adidas, the rest of the world calls it Adidas. You do you. If I don't say it, then I get corrected in the comments and I get frustrated. So I'm just preempting that. But we have a pair of Stan Smiths. Stan Smith was a tennis star. Most Stan Smiths, you're going to see his lovely face here on the tongue. If you did not know, Stan Smith is a tennis star. These were the court shoes that he wore, I think in the 70s is when these were popular. But they're still popular now because they are Adidas original shoes. These are featured in a lot of R&B and hip-hop artist brands. I know that Missy Elliott had a Stan Smith collaboration. I know that I think Dr. Dre had one as well, and a few other artists. But these are frequently collaborated with R&B and hip-hop artists, and that is what this is. This is a Pharrell Williams collab. Pharrell Williams is a famous songwriter as well as his own artist, and it says it inside the shoe. But I paid $10 for these. Again, I'm perfectly happy with that. These are a bright red. These are red on red. So I feel like these will sell pretty well. And then I have a new to me brand. I keep getting fed Kaylee Elaine videos, so I have watched a few of them now, and I'm glad I did because I learned something, because I would have totally passed on this. This was $6.98, and I felt the leather and it felt nice, but then I saw that it said Margot on here, and apparently these sell well. They don't sell for a whole lot, but they have really good sell-through rate, and this was in great shape. I do need to chapstick the zipper because it does stick a little bit on the way back. If you did not know that, if you have a clear chapstick, you can rub that along the zipper edges and it'll help re-lubricate them. So if you have a sticky zipper, it helps fix that. But I'm excited to give this brand a try for the first time, especially at $7. I think that'll be a good choice. I definitely wouldn't have paid the $15 for it they originally wanted, but I will give that a go. I also just perused the clothes a little bit. I didn't actually really look because I didn't have a whole lot of time today, but I did find a Bowden skirt, a nice denim skirt. I do believe this might fit me, so this might be something I wear until it sells, although it is a straight skirt, so it may not fit my butt. It'll probably fit around my waist, but not my butt. This is a US size 8, women, UK size 12. So we'll see, but I picked this up because you guys know I love selling Bowden, and that's a good classic piece. And then I saw these pants, and I was like, what in the fresh circus is this? And these are the high-rise straight, Lehigh straight, and they're frame denim. I picked these up because I almost never find frame. Look, these are the definition of look at me pants, and they are the Lehigh straight. So we will see if these sell for me or not. They were $7. So, I mean, if they caught my attention, chances are they're gonna catch somebody else's attention on eBay. And then the thing I'm most excited about, and the reason why I decided to actually like stay and look, was because as soon as I walked in the door, I found these. And these are cowboy boots, and if you look down there at the bottom, you're like, what are all those weird lumps? They just have lovely, lovely ostrich lumps, because that's what this is. This is ostrich leather. That's why it looks like this. It looks like a Swiss dot pattern, but it is ostrich leather because this is where the actual feathers were. These are the individual places where the feathers were, like if you plucked the ostrich. I can't imagine what that's like. I've plucked a chicken before. It was unpleasant, so I can't imagine what it's like plucking an ostrich. But these, the only reason I know about this brand is because I saw Amber Resell's video about cowboy boots. I rarely find cowboy boots that aren't atrociously marked up in my area, but I always watch her videos because they're chock full of amazing information, so I will link it up above for you guys to watch. But these are Tony Llamas. It does have a little bit of heel drag, but because of the ostrich leather and because of the fact that these are a good size, I cannot remember and or find the size now, but it's in there somewhere. I tried to look smart anyway, but I saw comparables between the $60 to $100 range. So they originally marked these at $30, but I got them for $9.98. So I will happily try selling my first pair of Tony Llamas for $10 and see where that goes. But if those boots sell for where I think they're gonna sell, it's gonna pay for the entire haul because I paid a total of $88.56 for everything that you saw here. So I think I did an amazing job. Hopefully you guys think the same, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for hanging out, and until then, bye! Bye.